What is your name?
My name is Micah Sauls, and I am a Houston native.
Okay. And how can you be reached?
My company, well, I'll give you the company information. So you can reach me at sumomobility@gmail.com
Okay.
or 936-499-5036.
Cool.
Instagram handle is at Sumo Mobility.
Cool. What inspired you to start Sumo Mobility?
And I'll tell a story. So my mom, we went to Whole Foods one day, and I parked in the back, and I like to walk. So we walked up, went into the store, came out, and it started raining. Now, keep in mind, my mom is about 70 years old, close to that, and her mobility is okay. It's not great. And we came out. She didn't want to get her hair wet, right? So then I just stopped, sprinted, went and got the car, came back, picked her up. She got in the car, and then she looked at me and she was like, Micah, like kind of sad and melancholy. And she's like, Micah, I don't remember when I had the ability to run and when I lost that ability. And that was the pivotal moment for me to start this business and be like, I need to do something about how we age. And that's the reality. And that was the starting point of Sumo Mobility.
That's awesome. I love that. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
man, it was really, and then as I got older, I started to realize, I started talking to people, and there was a challenge recently on Instagram, or a year ago, 6 months, I don't know, but of people trying to skip.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
people forgot how to skip.
Yeah.
That were over like 50. They just forgot. They're like,
hard
I don't know how to do it.
Yeah,
And
to
I'm like,
drive the knee.
I think also surrounding myself with people like you who do parkour and other movers, understanding that movement is life.
Yeah.
And those are some of the most awesome people that I've met that also have a drive to life, man.
Yeah.
And they're healthy. That's
awesome.
really it. They're healthy, man.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. How have your experiences and skills affected the services Sumo Mobility provides?
So I started out at 25 building a collection of skills in movement. I wanted to go kind of a different route than just college, and I wanted to choose practical skills that transfer. For me, it started off with Taekwondo when I was a kid. I got a first-degree black belt, right? I didn't finish by choice. I finished it because my parents dangled a carrot and said, hey, I'll give you a go-kart if you get your first-degree black belt. So I got that. Anyways, then at 25, I started doing a collection of skills: classical ballet, gymnastics, parkour, thanks to you, gymnastics, CrossFit, Olympic lifting. I really started just trying to collect skills and become competent in them, with the intention of not being the best at that skill, but being more of a generalist to be able to understand movement from a fundamental level. And then I started moving into soft tissue, and that's what kind of helped me merge all of it to help people understand how to move well. I wanted to change the game with how body work was being presented. Instead of getting up onto a massage table and sitting or doing these types of static movements that we normally do, I changed that and created a more ground-based discipline and practice. So when people come to me, it's different because we're on the ground. And I think that's influenced by all my disciplines, like parkour, all these things. You have to be really good at locomotion. And that means getting on the ground and then getting back up again. So that would be
So cool.
that'd be how that happened.
Love that. How important is breath work?
Oh, okay. Breath work, I would say, is how we stay alive. So it's top priority. But understanding really how to breathe is completely different. And it's not just panting, it's learning how to control your breath in a way that activates your parasympathetic nervous system versus the sympathetic nervous system. And sympathetic is fight or flight. So that's when we get real nervous or things like that. Somebody cuts us off in traffic. Versus parasympathetic is where we learn to actually rest and digest. So think of when you start eating, you start getting tired, you start calming down. Same thing with breath work, is learning how to exhale long and controlled to help you breathe better. And what happens is when you inhale, your heart rate increases. When you exhale, your heart rate decreases. So you want to think about that when you're doing breath work. You want to focus on a long controlled exhalation to help lower your heart rate and activate your parasympathetic nervous system so you can actually manage your stress.
Okay. That's awesome. Here's a good one. How
Okay.
do you stay updated How do you stay updated with the latest research and advancements in soft tissue therapy?
Okay. So for sure, PubMed and NIH, both of those are very, very important with up-to-date information. Also following people like Dr. Mike Israetel. I think he's a pretty fantastic source for Renaissance periodization, Dr. Kelly Starrett. It's a lot of these players in the game that really know their stuff. But with that being said, it's really, I really want to help people understand that we can follow the data all day long. But at the end of the day, that data may not represent you. So let's take a protocol for strength training, okay? And you got some data on there, and it's like, okay, this looks great for the general consensus, right? A lot of people are seeing benefits. That may not work well for you. So what I'm getting at here is I want people to understand, even though we have all these data and clinical trials and stuff, you are the data. You got to get out there and try stuff and see what works for you. As long as it's not in a harmful way and it's a safe environment, strength training or parkour or any other type of movement or carnivore diet or whatever you want to talk about, I believe you have to try it. Of course, get a health screening and stuff like that, but really you are the data. That's what I want to help people understand is it's less about reading and more about action and trying things.
That's cool. I love that. What can a new client expect during their first session?
That's a great question. The first session is really going to be an understanding of what you can currently do and then what you're looking to do. So an example would be maybe a 70-year-old client comes to me and he's got a bit of a limp, right? And he's gotten MRIs, he's gotten all the bits, but he doesn't really show anything that's wrong structurally, right? And MRIs, imaging, it doesn't show restricted tissue. So you may feel like you're injured, but there's nothing really wrong via the MRI. But then when I start working on you, I realize there's some soft tissue issues, right? You're restricted. You're just tight because you've been sitting. So really the expectation would be, we're going to come in and I'm going to help you understand. Let's identify some goals. Then let's test and see what kind of ranges you're working with. Where are you tight? Are you in back pain, shoulder pain? Then instead of focusing on a symptom approach, I focus on a system approach. Now, that being said, say I'm not a doctor and I can't treat or diagnose you, but I am a massage therapist. If you come in with your shoulder and it's kind of jacked up, instead of just saying, I'm going to only work on your shoulder, that's focusing on only the symptom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the entire body, the entire kinetic chain, because in my opinion, your feet could be so jacked up, that could be causing some upstream issues towards your shoulder. So really the expectation is you're going to get worked on top to bottom in a way that it creates body maintenance. So improving your soft tissue health, muscle, tendons, ligaments throughout your entire kinetic chain.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. I kind of asked this one, but I feel like there's a more direct question. It'll make it easier to answer.
Okay.
What experience and skills make up your background?
Okay. That are directly related to sumo mobility, that would be for sure massage therapy. That's learning about the body, A&P, anatomy and physiology. That's huge. You got to understand anatomical landmarks. You got to understand what the body's doing because it's a system of systems. Most people think of our body as just one system. It's not. There are so many systems. There's a nervous system, muscular system, lymphatic system. It's really understanding that. But then also, like I mentioned, it's having that practical understanding of movement and what people are actually going through, specifically athletes or even older people. Because if they've sat at a desk for 10 years, I know their hips are jacked and that is going to be where I need to work most. So it's really the whole journey I've been on in life kind of created that understanding of how to help people a little better.
That's awesome. What are the key benefits that your clients experience after their session?
A really interesting one that people often say after they get up off the mat, they feel like they're walking on clouds. And that's huge for me. And people don't really understand what that means. But when you've been in physical discomfort for years, not decades, having that type of relief, a lot of people don't know how to explain it. So what it is it's relief on a level that they've never experienced. And with what I do, like I said, it's global. So instead of working on you in a targeted way, I'm providing relief via your whole system. and people just feel a massive amount of relief. I had one lady, she was in her 60s, and she had a breast augmentation when she was younger, and there was a lot of scar tissue. She didn't get body work after that. By the way, this is a tidbit. If you have any type of surgery, you should be getting body work, specifically massages afterwards, to help with that collagen movement so that scar tissue doesn't build up and affect your biomechanics. But that being said, it's really learning. People will come to me and they can squat basically above parallel, meaning their hip crease is not below knee crease. So they're above parallel. And that's as far as they can go. It literally just stops. After one session, most people can squat all the way down. And they've never done this in years, maybe not even their lifetime, really, outside of childhood or teenage years. So what it is it's an experience to be able to understand how to move freely. And that's what it is. It's basically freeing up your range of motion and unlocking your body.
Challenges and lessons.
Challenges and lessons regarding Summa or just like business ownership?
Either one.
Okay.
Yeah, either one.
I think a lot of it's taught me grit. Grit, meaning I have to be constantly learning and growing to keep up with the market, but also to help my clients in the best capacity that I can. That's really it in a nutshell, is just the growth. I'm not so much concerned with competition because I think if you're unique enough, you're your own entity, right? There is no competition because you're unique to you and based on your life. And that's how I built Summa, is really, it's a collection of my unique experiences and it is my business. It's very unique, but that's really it.
Why should people schedule a session with Sumo Mobility?
You should schedule a session with Summa if you're experiencing any sort of chronic pain. If you've went and got an MRI and you're still struggling with pain, if you did an Ironman and your body's pretty toast, you should come see me. If you really, anybody with the body can benefit from this. You can basically for maintenance, monthly maintenance, or it can be if you're struggling with frozen shoulder, but you're not seeing the benefit from other clinicians, right? I'm not telling you, like I said, I don't treat or diagnose, but the reality is I'm going to get in there and focus on other things that they may not be focusing on from a systematic approach. And that could help clean some stuff up.
Very cool.
Let's go on to you, brother. Okay. So when did you start training parkour?
I started training parkour when I was 15. I saw a YouTube video of a guy named Chase Armitage and his brother, and it was like about like a journey, and it was just like this crazy old school edit with like the like orchestral like and yeah, I just quit skateboarding, which that took up a big part of like 10 years old to 14, 15 years old, and I wanted something else to do. So I was like, you know what, it's time to learn how to do a front flip. And then I didn't really think I would do parkour like long term. It just became me and my friends playing. And then like I turned 18 and I was like, this is fun. I want to keep doing this. And then how can I keep doing this? And started coaching. And yeah, it was just kind of organically happened. Yeah, and I'm very thankful for that. It wasn't like a mission or anything. It was just friends playing. And then
I got a question outside of this.
Yeah.
How has parkour affected your mental health in a positive way?
You know, honestly, it's made it way better, but it's also, there are some things that parkour can't help you with. You know what I mean? So like it's helped where it can, but then, you know,
fair.
Take what you can get.
That makes sense, man. All right, next one. What made you want to open a gym?
You know, I'll be honest. I was running, or you knew me at this time. I was running these two Anytime Fitnesses, and it just came down to like doing my own gym. I wanted to do my own gym, and I learned how to run these gyms for like 7 years. So I was like, I can do this on my own, and I can do it with parkour instead of working out, because parkour is way cooler, like in my opinion. And so, you know, and I always wanted to like have my own space to like make my own edits and coach students, teach them about what parkour, you know, did for me, and hopefully it can do something similar for them, or just be recreational, you know, something for them to still play, whether, you know, learning how to be adults. Gotcha. We have kid classes to adult classes. So, and what's cool is when they're all training, they're all acting the same. So it's, yeah, very cool, very universal. And, yeah, just, I wanted to create a space. Yeah.
Okay.
I like having a space.
So we're going to take a step back. Name.
Oh, my name is AJ, and I am in the Woodlands, Texas, and I am 30 years old.
And name of your company.
The name of my company, I have two of them. One is BelieveCommitAchieve. We are a parkour gym here in the Woodlands, and then we also have a clothing brand within the gym called Spyglass Parkour Company, and we sell T-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that.
How can parkour help an everyday person?
You know, parkour can help you if you want it to help you. It can be something as simple as a way to get out and just get some exercise in and kind of, de-stress, decompress after like a long day of work, or it can really consume your whole life and you love every aspect of it and watch podcasts about it and parkour videos all day and think about it and film stuff. And yeah, there's levels to it on what it can do for you. And I've seen both. I've hung out with people, it's their whole life and it's consumed their whole life and it's awesome. And then there's people who's, they train on the weekends and have fun. Yeah.
Gotcha. Why should your kid do parkour?
Your kid should do parkour. I want to answer this right, because there's a right way to answer it. If parkour did for me what it did when I was 15 and the colors of the world that it showed me and the creativity that it allowed me to have, I can only imagine what it does for like a 5, 6, 7-year-old. Just a different level. Like they can see the world in a completely free way that we can't as adults because we get so comfy and, we start getting scared of things. So I don't even know. It might be even a cooler experience than 15, getting into it at 7. So
well said.
It's worth
And
trying.
I think I want to kind of touch on that a little bit. I don't know, for me, like I've known you for a while and you've rubbed off on me for sure, but it's like, I think it's the genuine curiosity behind it. And that's one of the driving points, at least in my understanding, right? Because you're exploring.
Yeah.
You're kind of a conquistador. You're just like learning stuff about your body and about the environment in a way that you probably normally wouldn't do if you're just driving a car.
Yeah. If you're not inquisitive with it, you're not going to get any better. You'll just kind of,
Yeah, you're having fun, man. Yeah. Okay. Can parkour be dangerous?
Yes. It
As
can
with
be,
anything.
but it's a vertically integrated model if you're coaching it though. It's not like it's like a progressive overload. You're not, periodization. You know how it goes. It's like with lifting, like you're not going to go in and bench press like 400 pounds. You're going to add 2.5 pounds every week. And at the end of a year, putting that 405 up, or that's a crazy number, but like putting like 300 up, isn't gonna, it isn't gonna crush you. It's gonna feel like your heaviest was a year ago if you do it properly. Same with parkour. You tackle one little jump at a time, one little vault at a time, and eventually you're connecting things. And eventually you look at a challenge. Like first you see a challenge and you're like, I could never do that. And then you keep training and you keep getting better and you'll revisit that challenge and you're like, that's looking a little more realistic. And then like a few months later, you're like, dude, this is actually really easy. And then you do it. So as long as you're meeting yourself at that level, you're not over attempting something that you're not ready for, it's actually a really beautiful experience. But then there's those times that you do kind of want to put yourself on the line and really try something that's scary and break, your mental like to a different level. And so that comes in that territory too. So it can be both, but mainly for coaching. I just want to be clear. Yeah. Kids learn very slowly. And if you're a good coach, you know how to get them there properly.
What does parkour mean to you?
It's probably the only thing that I like actually identify with. Like in terms of like, it's a part of me now and I think about it all the time. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, if someone wanted to start parkour, but didn't have the resources to go take a class, what would you recommend?
Just start outside. Just go and try and climb a wall and see how hard it actually is. And then like, either get competitive with that and try to figure it out. And, if you have zero resources, that would be it. But there's a lot of stuff on YouTube, everyone has access to a phone now. So YouTube has a bunch of good tutorials. Honestly, Instagram, you're just watching people train on Instagram and you're not getting hyped to go train yourself. You probably just aren't that into parkour. So just keep investigating. Yeah.
Tell us about an experience, tell us what an experience looks like for someone trying out a BCA class for the first time.
Oh, it's so fun. So the way that we structure our classes is you come in. First of all, we have a portable parkour setup, so we can change the setup every week. So the kids are constantly walking into new surprises, and everything's like internally connected. And then from there, whenever the class starts, we do like a 15-minute warm up. Make sure there's no injuries, everyone's feeling good. A lot of quadrupedal movements, plyo work, strides, and then we'll go into the skill of the day. So it'll be like a vault or a jump or a climb or something. And then we'll either get into a time trial where it's like a speed run where they have the speed course and they're trying to just beat their own time. So they'll go 3 or 4 times, each student will, or we'll play tag. And they love tag. I mean, if we end the class with tag, everyone's happy. So, and tag is like the most natural competition you could make with just parkour. So it's very fun.
I think it's pretty primitive.
Yeah, very primitive. Yeah, that's a good word. My vernacular is not all the way there. You can find me at Parkour Journal on Instagram, ParkourJournal.
And you can find me at Summa Mobility, SUMMA MOBILITY on Instagram.
Yeah.
I think that's it, eh?